communicating heat pump. I'm doing a number of repairs on it today. We have reversing valve, TXV indoor, and thermal. Got to have my stuff set up for recovery. Take our 1,000,000 pounds of refrigerant out. We're going to take the unit apart completely, take the outdoor coil off of it to reach the valve. Running some water across my recovery cylinder to cool it down so it'll speed the recovery along and make the pressure low enough so it doesn't top out. If we look down inside the unit here, we can see we have a charge compensator. We have a dryer down below that you can see down here. Muffler. Pressure switches, equalizing port for the TXV. We have a true suction port coming off there, so there's just a maze of shit down here. We're going to have to find the best way to cut these tubes loose, fit them up to the new reversing valve outside of the unit, and somehow get them back in here so we don't have to braze at the valve in the unit, because that would be a super duper pain in the ass. So this is the first repair. I want to save the best for first. Whenever I get done, I can shut the service valves off and test the pressure through the true suction port, and hopefully it holds. Oh my gosh. Looks like, guys, I might be able to take the TXV loose, cut here to take the outdoor coil off, and then leave this entire tube connected to the old reversing valve, cut this tube up somewhere in here, cut the other one way down there at the bottom so they're easy to get to when the coil's off, and braze those tubes into the reversing valve separately outside the unit to let that whole assembly back in. So there's 3 easy to braze locations. We may be able to do that. That would be good. I've cut the first tube here. I'm going to take the TXV loose so I can lift it out. Then we'll be able to remove the coil and get to some of the components on the inside. Alright, the outdoor coil is off the unit. We can see everything a lot closer now. Our reversing valve's inside this little makeshift thing the Amana field service representative wanted to try out. It failed. We'll take the dryer out of here. I might put it on the outside of the unit. Get our cuts. We have one cut here. The charge compensator. Charge compensator is connected over here. So we're going to cut it over in this region. We can take that whole section out. Cut it once up here. Take everything out. Braze it to the reversing valve and set it back in place. Okay, guys, I'm about to take this reverse valve and sweat the bottom off, because I think that's probably the best way to do that right there. I just sweat it off because everything else is disconnected. I just pull it straight up. Then I can set the new valve back on it. I might actually braze them in place. There's enough room to get around this thing. So I might just braze them in place right there. That way I can get the angles right. So we'll see. I have the valve covered here with rags. I'm going to braze in the first tube. I'm going to move on to the second one. Just do one in a row, one after the other, and I can put everything back together. I might find a way to test it before I put the coil back on, because it would certainly suck if it leaked after I put the coil back on. On the third pipe now, pipe with the charge compensator in line on it. I'm going to braze this one up, then I can start joining these littler pipes together and starting to put these 2 joints back together. It's kind of dangling down right now. The one here and the one down low. This one I'm actually put a piece of copper on and just sort of maybe just crimp it shut so I can pressure test the whole thing, because I'd love to know if it leaks or not. The reversing valve is brazed up. We're going to move on to rejoining the pipes here and the one down here. Everything is a little skewed because the pipes are actually a little bit shorter, but I will bend that around and make it beautiful again before we're all said and done. I promise. I have spliced the tube going to the charge compensator back together, and I've spliced the heat sensing or heat suction port tube back together. I'm going to cut right here below the dryer, remove this dryer and put a straight section of copper. Then afterwards we'll put a new dryer on the outside of the unit, where it'll be a little bit easier to get to. Guys, I have my pipe here coming up that will connect to the condenser coil. I cut it off, put a longer stub on it so I can seal it off. I'm going to put in some nitrogen into the port for the equalizing port for the TXV. And we're going to test this thing out to see if I have any leaks. I only braze like a zillion joints, so hopefully I don't have any leaks, but I won't be too awful surprised if I missed a little spot somewhere. Hey guys, it's your buddy Talon here. Ever had a bad day? You got a whole bunch of units of service. The world is just spinning around you. You don't know what to do. And you all of a sudden have an idea. Hey, I got this cool wrench right here. I have a great idea. I bet I could hit any of these cars with this wrench from here, even those ones that are moving, they would be worth more points. That's the kind of day I'm having today. But remember guys, sooner or later the day will be over, and you'll finally be home sitting in your chair watching TV, and you don't want to be at the jail explaining why this was a good idea. This is a public service announcement by your buddy Talon, and enjoy the rest of the video. While pressure is holding on my assembly outside, I'm going to go ahead and switch this TXV. Lucky for me, it's bolt-on. Hooray. I can just take this one off, put another one on, reattach the equalizing port, dig out the sensing bulb here, and reattach the new one. Guys, we're down here in the crawl space with our expansion valve. Voila. And let's take a look at the instructions that Emerson gives us to see what kind of helpful information we can find. Do not install them with the system under pressure. Alright. Do not put a torch on the sensing bulb for no particular reason. Okay. Don't put the valve upside down. I can see that happen. Let's see. The locations. Don't put them on 6 or 12. Okay. Don't braze the valve without putting a rag on it. I like that. That's good. Those are good things. Adjusting superheat and blah. So that's good. I mean, when you braze, you're not gonna braze this valve in anyway. But if you were to have a braze-on valve, you probably wouldn't braze it with no rags on it. Some of this is common sense. It's just kind of funny after years of doing it. You're reading the instructions again. It's kind of hilarious. Okay, guys, I have put the equalizing port back on. That's a flare. These are compression. You see the little wires. Well, not wires, but tubing. I'm gonna test it out. I don't put the TXV in a crawl space of the case. Just a pain in the ass. It sweats anyway. It just fills the case with water, and this way I can adjust the superheat real easy. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna head back outside to see if our unit is leaking or not. We are down to 2 more braze joints here, leading up to the outdoor TXV. I have that 3/8 coming up. We're going to braze them together here. I'll cut it off up here, put a little swage in it with the Hillmore tool. Then up here, we have these 2 lines. My test port, or where I sealed off so I could test it, and the line going to the outdoor coil. Get those together, again with the Hillmore swage tool. Hey guys, I brazed up the TXV line here. High pressure switch is there. And up here at the top, brazed up that line as well, so we're ready to pressure check the whole system. I have reassembled the unit here, guys. I have it on a pressure test. It has held for about 30 minutes, so I'm pretty satisfied. I'm about to go get the vacuum. Once I put in the vacuum, I can go switch the thermostat inside. And then all will be left is charging it back up and making sure she don't blow up. Guys, we're pulling the vacuum here. I'm gonna put some liquid tape on the dryer here in just a minute. Well, maybe after I'm done, so don't get it all over me. Although it does dry pretty quickly. Then we'll be charging it up here in a moment. I have my trusty cart with my refrigerant on there, one that's almost empty and one that's all the way full, because we're gonna need a whole lot of refrigerant. Guys, I'm now starting to load R410A into the unit. I'm getting gotta move my leg, but getting the scale in place, zeroing it out. And then we can start putting R410A in my almost empty bottle, and then go get my completely full. We just started running. We're 234 over 112, just a little bit shy of our targets there. 22-degree split, running at 3.66 tons, and the auto calculation. C2 down there, that means we're running at cooling stage 2. So we're gonna let it run for about 5 more minutes, let things settle out. And then we will add a little bit more refrigerant, because I know we're still a little bit shy. We have a 232 over 112. Our suction pressure is just about right on the money. Our head pressure is a little bit lower than the target. 3.7 tons, 44,300 blah 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 BTUs. 20-degree split. Has our airflow in the accepted range. I do auto on this one. It's auto calculated by the iManifold. We'll see what it gets here in a second. Looks like it's a little bit low. We'll see. We have 6.5 degrees of subcooling, 7.3 of superheat, right on where my targets are. My target
subcooling is just 7 to 9 on these Goodman things, so it's right about in that area. In fact, we're going to climb right up there while we're talking on this. And oh, I thought we were. And superheat's the same thing, so we're looking pretty good. Might be all done here. Let's check the system performance and see what it says. As you can see, guys, we have a temperature split of 20 degrees, a little bit above of the normal, would indicate a little bit lower than nominal 400 CFM. It has us at 391, a little bit below 400. That's why we have a little bit greater split. We are 43, almost 44,000 BTUs. I'm not sure what the BTU output of this particular pair is. Even though you have a 4-ton machine, which you say 48,000 BTUs, it's not actually 48,000 most of the time. It's somewhere a little bit less than the nominal, but I'm not exactly sure what this one is. I'd have to check. But we're looking pretty good right now. Yep, right about on the money. We're about done for today. Looks like we were successful. A long day. The repair took 6 hours or so to do everything. So taking that unit apart and repiping it is really tough. Well, our numbers are gone. But I will see you guys on the next one.